Peace code keepers, peace classmates. We're all in our paces with bright smiley faces, and this is the way we start the revolution. Welcome to Professor Kimaya's class. This is the show that you want to check out if you're interested in the femcs, female MCs, the lady rappers. If you're interested in the inequities that our female performers have had to address and how we can address those. If you're interested in making sure that the culture truly represents the culture, this is the show for you. So once again, welcome to the revolution, Professor Kimaya's class. Doc, the
Hey, you're
professor
so,
is here.
and always thank you for always having me. And brother Dan is now here. Hey,
Peace,
Dan.
peace.
How you doing? Peace, peace.
Hey.
Good
So
stuff. Well,
yeah,
Doc, this is your class, and you're going to share with us first about some history about some of the ladies, the women, the femcs in hip hop, and then we're going to talk about some of the challenges and how we can address those challenges. Right?
yeah, yes.
If I read the curriculum correctly.
The curriculum, like I sent you a syllabus. So yeah, so it's interesting. I've had conversations with Black men. Of course, I think in terms of hip hop. Hip hop is just always on my mind. And so a lot of times when I speak with Black men in particular about hip hop, because it's interesting that Black men are more likely to talk to me about hip hop every day and not Black women, which is interesting. But I told a Black man the other day that Black men in particular have a difficult time discussing the lack of representation or the minor representation of women in hip hop and other places, whether it's religious leadership and all types of other places. And we were talking about if that's really true, if Black men have a difficult time to discuss this issue. And so that's also something to think about regarding hip hop. What does it mean when women are considered the help? Is not only non-Blacks who feel that way about Black women. And this is historically the case as addressed by Black women trailblazers for centuries that you and I've talked about as well, right? We talked about Ella Baker, Septima Clark, what things were highlighted by uh, Amy Ashford Garvey, Amy Jackie Garvey, the list goes on. So that includes hip hop. So the title here, it's the real hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Y'all know where the verse is, right? Y'all know where that comes from, right?
Code keepers, if you don't know or if you do know, go ahead and put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Where is it's the real hip hop,
Hip
hip
hop,
hop,
hip
hip
hop,
hop.
hip hop.
Hopefully my vocal tone didn't do damage to that
It did.
beautiful it did.
No, you're good.
I missed the drop. I missed the drop, so I didn't even jump in because I would have been late and it would have been corny. So yeah.
No, you're good. It's funny because again, when I was on my way home, that again, I'm gonna give people a hint. The remix was playing in somebody's car. They were blasting it, and I was like, "That is the best verse. Like that's considered one of the best tracks in hip hop." And part of that is because Lil Kim, the Queen Bee, and Hot Damn Hoes, here we go again. And I'm giving people all types of hints, so they better get it. All right, so that's why I chose that in title. It's the real hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Women MC since the 1970s. That is a big deal because a lot of people don't recognize that. So the image here is just the women who made it in terms of mainstream kind of famous. But as I'll talk about at the end, there's thousands of more sisters who've been doing this work, and that includes local artists. So that's very important. So of course, MC Light, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, and DJ Spinderella. And people always want to highlight that's the second Spinderella, not the first Spinderella. Roxanne Shante, live on stage. Lil Kim, the Queen Bee. Foxy Brown, Lauryn Hill, Rod Digger, Eve Debrat, Bahamadia, Yo Yo. My name is Yo Yo. I'm not a ho no. Lady of Rage, Missy Elliott. That's the first image. You can go to the next slide, please.
I'll do so, but before I click that
Okay.
clicker. Hey, Dan Trez, man.
Yes,
Off of all, look, MC Light is my fave.
got you.
and so Light's my fave from that era. That's depicted on the screen. Who's your fave that's on the screen?
From that era,
Yeah.
it's gonna be Queen Latifah, definitely. And I think
Okay.
I think I think her first album should be on everybody's top 10. Like that's like it should be on everybody's top 10 because her with Mark the 45 King, like who's also a very underrated producer. Like all the songs that are on it, like it really set things off. You really set things off for the native tongues. You know what I mean? Because she made that full circle for the native tongues. So like Queen Latifah, really is just my fave, like all around.
Hey man, I remember being
Yes.
on Hampton University's campus and somebody slipped me a DJ Red Alert tape
Oh,
and jigga jigga dun 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 dun, and I was like, yo, this beat is bananas. My mellow latte is kicking flavor. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yo, Wrath of My Madness was my joint.
Telling you, man, that joint, yo, Mark 45 King killed it, yo, on that joint, yo.
And that's the thing a lot of people don't realize about Queen Latifah. She started off as a beatboxer. So when she, doing all the beatboxing, doing all these freestyle and everything, so they don't realize like she's become famous for doing other things and won many awards, which we'll talk about. But she started off doing a lot of it in the streets, like when people celebrate Black men in hip hop, doing the beatboxing and all that stuff. And of course, when you talk about the flavor unit, you got to understand 45 King started it, she took it over. And of course, native tongues. So when you hear native tongues got rhyme galore, my buddy, there's a reason why Queen Latifah's on the intro part. She's in the video. And at the end, you could be my buddy, that little skit they do. See, Queen Latifah is actually the center of a lot of this. Like when you see parts of De La Soul, when you see the Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest parts as well, Q-Tip images, and of course Moni Love. So that's very important for people to know
Ooh,
that about the Queen.
you just said Bay. All right, Moni Love is Bay.
Who is the first UK women rapper to come to the United States, and they continue to represent and come to the United States. Shout out to Little Sims and Eddie. So yeah.
And of course,
that.
and I love Cookie Crew, by the way. I'm a big fan of Cookie Crew.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So their whole entire album.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I use their music for a lot of stuff. Shabba dabba doo boop 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 boop. Secret of My Success. I love Cookie Crew. So for this though, I'm only doing Black women in USA, but it is important when we highlight hip hop that we do have Black women in the UK and other parts of the world who have contributed since the 1980s. And again, I love Cookie Crew. They're amazing. So yeah.
All right, so let's go to Philly.
Yeah. So Lady B. So released to the beat, y'all, in 1979, called the Godmother of Hip Hop. So when you see her, she's also considered very notable for being one of the first DJs outside of the New York area to play rap on the radio. So that is very crucial because people saw rap and hip hop as something that you just hear in New York. And then people started spreading it to other radio stations. Do you all have any thoughts about Lady B?
She's
Okay,
a dope
go ahead.
DJ. She's a dope DJ, and she's still on the radio.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
still on the radio. So for decades, she's been on the radio in Philly. So yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing I think about To the Beat Y'all is I believe it came out between King Tim III and Rapper's Delight. Am I correct?
I think so, but don't quote me on that. Is that a correct timeline, Dan?
I couldn't tell you because in my mind, I thought she came after. I was wrong. I just I didn't know it was 79. I thought it was after. So
Yeah.
that's just me being old. So yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
because
I don't remember the song during that time period.
yeah,
I heard Rapper's Delight first, and then I heard King Tim the Third. Later on, I learned that King Tim the Third came first, and then I
yeah,
heard that this song, and this I was out of college when I first heard To the Beach All, and I was like, oh, I do remember this, but it didn't hit me the same way King Tim the Third blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. Um, yeah.
yeah. And that's another thing that people are highlighting. There's actually at the end, there's going to be a reference page, including a documentary that people can find on YouTube with the role of women in hip hop. And so when seeing that, there's a lot of music out there that just did not receive mainstream notoriety. So therefore, it was released, it vinyl, right? Was released, usually a single, not a whole album. But the first thing that people will know about is the one that people are playing the cassette and they're playing it, blasting it from their cars or whatever people are doing. And of course, this was back before there were videos and things too. So that's why it's difficult for us to oftentimes figure out what came first. Like even when we talk about MC Light, when she first started rapping as a young teenager, then she got the record deal, and then the videos came out. So you see the spread of her teenage years. So a lot of people don't remember the timelines because you might have started rapping at the age of 14, 15, but then you got the record deal at 16, 17, and then the videos because of, again, when she talked about some of the things, that was when she was 17, but she had already started for like 3 years by then. And we'll talk about that too. All right, so shout out to Lady B, and you can still find her if you do an internet search. You can find her interviews and everything that she's doing as well. Yes, MC Sharrock started breakdancing and eventually started rapping, and this is 1977, being part of Funky 4 Plus One. So you can still find their videos of them performing, which I love watching their videos. And when she gets up there, when she gets the microphone, the party is really ready, right? So she's really got a lot of hype up there, called the mother of the mic. And so she influenced many women rappers and men rappers in terms of her style, the way she flows in her lyrics, the way she's enthusiastic. And so that's a big deal when you're influencing women and you're influencing men, and the men in hip hop are manly enough to admit that they got skills that they learned from a woman rapper. And that's actually a really big deal in a men dominant area where people oftentimes want to brag about having a mentor and a model who's another man. But to say it's a woman rapper is actually a really big deal. Y'all have any thoughts on that?
I do. I do. It
I do.
was Dimples D who made me decide that I wasn't a rapper. I was a rapper until I heard Dimples D. When I heard Sucker DJs, I was like, oh my God. All right, I'm a DJ.
Yeah.
I'm a DJ. I mean, I still rhymed a little bit. Dan and I actually have a song out from back in the day. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's not Cypher. Not Cypher. Okay. Yeah. But when
I
I
want to hear it.
heard
So,
when I heard Sucker DJs, I was like, I got to be Marley Marl.
mm,
I want a
whew.
woman to talk about me the way she talked about him. And that it really just kind of blew my mind. But to go to Shot Rock, it was wild to me because I wasn't surprised. So to me, and Danny, you grew up in New York around that time period. I left New York in 1976, so I used to go back every summer. So I went to a couple of block parties in Manhattan. Um, it was always, brothers and sisters on the mic. That's what I saw. So when I heard Funky 4 plus one more,
Hmm.
I wasn't shocked. And I thought she was fly. I thought she was actually one of the best. I thought she was the second best in the group.
Yeah, I got a chance to get to know her as part of Zulu because she'd always come to the Zulu anniversaries in New York City, so she was always around. So she was really dope person, like really dope, and like everything you imagine her to be. That's how she actually just is. It's like just how she carries herself. and everything, how she holds it down, and people respect her. If it feels, it seems like it was part of her personality. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's really dope to know her. And yeah, she did influence a lot of people, and she could still get it. Actually, she still gets on the mic, man. Like she still gets it in. So
Yep,
like, she hasn't missed a beat.
that's right. Yep, so I appreciate her. All right, the sequence. Woohoo. And of course, the image here shows Angie B with
Yes.
MC Shamrock here.
Mhm.
So the sequence formed 1970, Columbia, South Carolina, considered the first women rap group. First of all, a lot of literature uses the term female, so I tend to switch it up. So even if it's like female Grammy, I'll say women, but it's technically female. So just know that when you see that I say women, it's usually the official title for stuff is female. So of course, one
Would that
member
be
is Angie Stone. Uh-huh.
would that be considered the first woman rap group on vinyl?
They're
Yeah, yeah,
called,
on vinyl. Yeah,
yep,
on vinyl, yes. Yeah,
yeah. And
because there
unfortunately, a
were.
lot of people use that title
Mhm.
in general, but it's supposed to only be based on what's represented in vinyl. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say, they were predated by the Mercedes ladies,
Yes.
who were
Yeah.
in the early '70s to mid '70s. So yeah, but and there was a lot of rappers that never made it to vinyl, or they might have went on vinyl like in the mid '80s later on. But in that era, a lot of them didn't get on vinyl. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So there's Brother Vonner, there's something that's coming up over there. Am I the only one who sees this? Okay. It was something that was trying to pop up, like a pop-up or something.
Yeah, I got that was my mistake. That was my mistake.
Okay.
Okay.
Technology.
It's been a trip. It's been a trip.
or
You know what? I want to
uh,
say that what's kind of interesting to me is I was just watching a documentary, and this documentary was dealing with Netflix and some of the decisions they made. And one of the decisions that I was really disappointed with is they didn't do a second season of the Get Down.
mm-hmm.
But in the Get Down, I don't remember a female group. I might be wrong, but they didn't showcase a female group.
They did not at all. They did not at all. They showed like they showed like a group like the Herculoids. They showed Bambaata's crew, and there was like another crew, and them, but they were not. I don't even think they had a woman in it. I don't think they even had a woman in any of those crews.
You got to remember, women are the secretaries.
So, yeah, so
We's
like they
gonna
didn't
get
even
y'all some coffee. Y'all hungry?
yeah, they didn't even mention Cindy Campbell. None of that. They never like none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Since you brought up Cindy Campbell, why don't you drop the jewels on that, bro?
Yes.
Oh, so I'm gonna throw a shot at somebody right now too, if I can. But Cindy
Yes.
Campbell is the sister of of Clive Campbell, who we know is Cool Herc, and she hired him to DJ his birthday party, and that's when you kind of see the birth of everybody used to do house parties and everything, but the way that hip hop people in hip hop did it differently, that was like the first time that was done on that level, you know. So, but I know that a lot of people in the FBA would claim otherwise, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah,
Hey,
We
step
don't
off.
acknowledge
yeah,
cults.
yeah, we don't
Step
acknowledge
off. Step
yeah,
off.
so like,
Step
yeah, so
step
like, yep,
hey.
yep.
All right.
Cults.
Say what you weigh. Say what you weigh. I do want to do one little point because Dan, you're right. That was Cool Herc's sister. It was her party. They had to move it out the community center, right, to the streets. That wasn't the first party that Cool Herc did. That wasn't the first block party. That wasn't the first party where the five elements came together, but it
Mhm.
was definitely the pivotal one, you know. And so I do call, Herc the grandfather, the godfather,
Yeah.
but I know he wasn't the first.
But what I'm trying to say is that, and this is where the FBA cats get it wrong, right? People have been DJing in parks and blocks for decades,
I
but
say,
this party was the first one that he did his merry-go-round method in public. And that's what made a hip-hop DJ different from any other DJ before. The merry-go-round method of the back and forth where he made the breaks longer. You know what I
but he
mean?
wasn't the first to do that.
It's, yes, he was to do the merry-go-round. but he was practicing it. He was the first one to do it publicly, is what I'm saying. Like on that
Okay.
level. Before that, and that's what separates hip hop DJs from other DJs. The
Okay.
merry-go-round method. Just like I can go on and on about how hip hop differs from other genres, but that's what sets them apart. I'm
All
sorry.
right. I don't want us to veer. We just veered off. Hey, we're back to the sisters.
Yeah, too late.
Well, actually, but so I don't consider it a veer. You know, I would have fussed at y'all if it was a veer. I really think it is an important discussion of hip hop, though, because it's an example of the overarching culture and how there's a lot of different things happening at the same time that a lot of people are given credit for creating, but people are like, well, actually, it's not the first time. And that happens for everything humans create, right? You'll say this person created this theory, and then someone else is like, actually, that theory was created by so and so years before. And then the topic becomes, do we define creations and the creator based on what gets the first attention? And a lot of times that's what happens. Just like if you're making a movie, this is the first movie release. If your movie gets released after it, you might be considered the copy person. You know, that kind of thing happens a lot. So same thing happens in hip hop. A lot of times people want credit for things, just like when people debate who started hip hop. Did Black people in America start it? We know that Black people in America started, and that includes Black people in America, even if you chose to migrate to America, because we created many genres that influence our people in the Caribbean. We all have the common denominator of African music as our foundation, but we have genres that have impacted the world, and that includes hip hop.
Well,
So,
I want to end this by saying Queen Campbell became one of the first hip hop promoters. So salute Queen Campbell.
yes, salute Queen Campbell. So, yes, so with the sequence, the deal with Sugar Hill Records, which is a big deal. So, understand the Black woman who ran the Sugar Hill Records part, right? And the Funk You Up track, which is the track that people talk about a lot regarding the sequence, is the first hit by women rappers. So we're talking about what gets sold. And it reached a lot of commercial success,
Oh my
considered
God.
to sell 1 million global records.
Oh my God. I remember my father was driving me to the Boys and Girls Club where I was taking karate lessons, right? And they played Rapper's Delight, right? And we were like, why are they playing this? Because this was months after it hit. So I was like, why are they playing this? And then they said, and now we got the ladies. Boom. And they dropped that and it blew my mind.
Yeah. And it's
Blew my
Funk
mind. And
You Up is,
everybody was saying it the
yeah.
next 3 months.
Yeah, and it's sampled a lot. It's sampled in hip hop, particularly by men hip hop artists. It's sampled in R&B. In Vogue sampled it. It's sampled in neo soul music. It's they, I think they filed a lawsuit against Bruno Mars. I think it was more than just a complaint.
Oh, word. Oh, wow. Wow.
I know they issued a complaint, but I don't know if it was also a lawsuit because when Bruno Mars did his Uptown Funk You Up, I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Mars's Uptown Funk You Up. And so here's the other part, though. In 2016, with the VH1 Hip Hop Honors, All Hail the Queens, Salt and Pepper were declared the first women rap group. So that's not correct, right? So the sequence complained about that. And this is where, as Black people, culturally, we have to understand that a lot of times for Black people, a lot of times people are considered, non-Blacks are considered the first time when it's something that they acknowledge on their side, right? So that happens for women rappers. If you are considered the first now that you're on MTV or even VH1 and not just stuck with those Negroes on BET and the box or whatever. So that happens all the time. Even for like Black actors, right? We've known these Black actors since the 70s and 80s when they were doing movies that only Black folks knew about, right? Or shows that Black folks watched. But then when they got famous in Hollywood among non-Blacks, they were like, this is their first movie. We're like, dog, they've been doing movies for like 30 years. Like, calm down, breathe easy, right? So regarding women in hip hop, that's something that the sequence experienced. They're like, we're working hard, we're out there, connected with other women MCs, like again, MC Sharrock and Angie B here. And yet and still, 10 years later, here comes Salt and Pepper. No disrespect to Salt and Pepper. But 10 years later, here comes Salt and Pepper, and they're considered the ones who are considered the first. So,
Hey,
and that's,
Dan,
yeah.
what was Salt and Pepper's first name? Weren't they Supernature, right?
Yes,
Yes,
super nature.
yes,
Yep. So yep. Yeah. Yep.
yep. Supernature and a different Spinderella eventually. Roxanne Shante, because I'm live on stage. Say ho. All right. So Roxanne Shante started at the age of 15. I love watching Roxanne Shante's videos because Roxanne Shante is a battle rapper, right? It was like she was born a battle rapper. Like, don't play with Roxanne Shante. And I also love when you see her performing with Biz Markie and he's beatboxing for her. I love seeing that.
Rest, yeah. Rest
Mm,
in peace. Yeah.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
mm.
So this is funny. So whenever the Roxanne Wars, okay, I don't know why people thought the real Roxanne could beat Roxanne Shante in the Roxanne Wars. First of all, the fact that it was even started by UTFO.
Oh, you're hurting me.
I mean, no disrespect to the real Roxanne.
Okay, okay.
I
All right, we're cool
support the
then.
real Roxanne. I
But
just
Roxanne
don't.
Shante, Roxanne Shante is from the bridge. She
She's
had that fire,
yeah.
man. She had that fire, bro. She could
Yeah,
rap.
the bridge, the bridge, the bridge. Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
she's from, right?
she played. Yeah, she
Yeah,
got it.
and I
Oh, I'm a
mean,
fan. I was just a
yeah,
bigger fan of the real.
that's okay. I mean, first of all, UTFO, of course, founded by Full Force. So I love Full Force. They're amazing. But it's just funny that UTFO started this battle of sisters, and
Yeah,
Roxanne Shante won that battle. I don't care what it says. So I'm a big fan of the Juice Crew.
Sparky D had her moment.
Rocky D had a moment. Can you elaborate, please?
In the Roxanne Shante Wars, it was
Yes.
Sparky D. So Sparky D had a nice little thing there. Now I think in its totality,
Yeah.
we will say that Roxanne Shante killed it because she went after UTFO.
yeah.
And when Roxanne Shante starts, she throws out insults.
Yep.
Because I was like, Sparky D, I don't know if Sparky D had the energy that Roxanne Shante did, but
She didn't. She had a moment. She had a moment. I'm just saying she had a
poof.
moment.
Just a moment.
Her joint like never gets put in like the top 25 diss songs. Like it's no one ever brings it up. You know what I mean? Because for its time, it was hard for its time. For like when it came out, it
Mhm.
was hard, yo. Nothing, it wasn't subtle. A lot of times MCs throw subtle disses at each other. It
Hmm.
wasn't subtle. Each verse was for each member,
Yeah.
and it was just like he was like, damn, like yeah, it was hard for its time, yo.
And a
Yeah,
lot of the most famous women MCs have done some kind of diss tracks, or they've been like at some type of rap battle, so you could see it like a cipher format. Most of them have done that, right? And it's just not celebrated in the same way. So okay, Roxanne Shante being part of the Juice Crew is a really big deal because I my one of my favorite songs is the Symphony.
okay, okay.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
that song. Dun, dun, dun,
Okay.
dun, dun. Listen closely. See my intentions on the vibe. I love symphony. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I will say though, with Roxanne, and of course the Juice Crew was not started by Marley Marl, but that was the representative that a lot of people saw with the Juice Crew. And so Roxanne Shante, you would not see her when they did like collaborations like that. And of course, later in the career, that time they performed on stage and everyone else was on stage, but she was behind the stage, that kind of thing. So I don't know if you all remember that. This was what, 15 or so years ago when she had taken a break from hip hop. So she was backstage and the rest of Juice Crew were performing. So but I'm still a big fan of the Juice Crew, and I love that Roxanne Shante was part of the Juice Crew, and I'm assuming she's still affiliated with the Juice Crew. So being considered the queen of rap is a big deal. And part of that is, of course, being in control of rap battles, because that does have a lot of dominance when people know don't really mess with Roxanne. So I always say she specializes in storytelling and diss tracks. I will just say though, oh my goodness, battling the Bronx was a big deal. Battling KRS One and Biggie Diamond Productions is a big deal. Because KRS One, he was throwing out some insults, some insults.
Only good for steady pumping.
Right, right. And I was like, he would not say that if it was a battle against a man. Come on, KRS One.
uh,
He wouldn't do a sex kind of diss if it was a man
no, he throw
rap
him off the
battle.
stage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he would.
threw him on stage.
He
Yeah,
throw him
he
off the
threw him on
stage.
stage. You throw you right. You would. Not trying to be funny because I know it's not. But yeah, in your response, yeah, he threw him on stage. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, it might be physical, whatever, but it wouldn't be sex based. And that's an example, though, of gender variance in how people respond. Because again, these are just rap battles. Like, it's not something a lot of times that happen in real life, right? And the rap battles actually got people to buy the vinyl and the cassettes more. So
I do think you bring up an interesting point because, as you know, as much as we're celebrating the sisters in hip hop, we're also recognizing that they faced some challenges
Yeah.
that the male counterparts didn't face. One of which was the devaluation simply to a sexual play to it. All
yeah,
right, I think I'm becoming wake enough to say that. Because as much as I love Roxanne Shantae's "Only Good for Steady Pumping," I
okay,
understand
okay,
it now that
censorship.
I understand now that he was really it. That's kind of the way that many of us looked at women, and that was one of the. I think that unfortunately or possibly fortunately, Brother KRS One demonstrated some of the misogyny, if I'm using the term
Mhm.
effectively, uh, in our approach to women. She's only
Yeah.
good for sex.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was a great diss, but what what does that say about the way that we deal with people that we should be valuing?
Right, because I mean, a rap battle, like men battling each other, they would not do sex disses because the question would be, why are you thinking about sex with him, yo? Why are you thinking
What
about that, right?
we would call somebody soft.
But would you be talking about the penis being soft though?
I,
No, I think
I'm
I think I think we did even against men. We use sex. We
yeah,
would
suck
say
my
I'll take your girl. Yeah, sick my duck. I'll take your girl. You know what I'm saying? I'll seduce your wife. Then again, at the same time, it does see women as
yeah,
objects. You know what
yes,
I'm saying? But
only
we
good for
do
steady
like
pumping.
we
Yeah.
do like try to. I guess the word we should use is try to emasculate, even though I don't like to use that word. We like to say
yeah,
that they're less of a man. Like he calls Molly Mall, like he says Molly Mall likes dressing like the gays, right? So it's
yeah.
like
So it's
he's putting
homophobia in there
homophobia, yeah.
too.
So like
Yep.
yeah, so yep, hmm yeah.
Yep.
So
So yeah, so with the diss tracks with men, you might reference taking each other's women.
yeah,
Rarely will you talk about penis size and things like that though. Like
No, we don't
I
talk about
really,
that.
I was gonna say, so like you're not really bringing up sex because like you like even saying something like I probably sex your girl better than you, that still almost crosses the line of like now you fantasizing about them, so a lot of times when men have battle raps, if they're going to bring up something, they make sure it's not like they're focusing on the man's sexuality. I mean, sometimes you'll hear diss like the man gets raped,
yeah.
something like that in prison, stuff like that, which but yeah, so it's an interesting dynamic there.
Which you
All
know
right.
what, real quick, I don't mean to cut in. I'm currently
No, go
reading.
ahead.
Wisdom of the Cipher by the wonderful Tony Blackman, a dope MC, probably one of the dopest MCs around. And she talked about how the battle, like she used to hold these ciphers, and she wouldn't let people battle. She said because the battle takes away energy from the cipher, and it
Mm.
becomes individualized instead of communal. So like, yeah, I just wanted to say that she pointed that out in there, and I
And
wasn't convinced until I heard you talk about it.
if you can send us that full citation and we can include that in the link for the YouTube channel
Got you. I
for
can
the
do that.
video so that we can find that book. So thank you so much for saying that. So
Definitely.
yeah, MC Light
Go
Rock.
Brooklyn. Go Brooklyn. Go Brooklyn. Had to do that.
I love the intro Lighter Rock when she's talking in the beginning. She said it's a metaphor, and he's like, I think it's more like a simile. it's, it's cute. Um, so in 1987, MC Light was the first solo woman rapper to get a record deal at Atlantic Records. She was 14 when she started rhyming, about 14, that range. And she was 16 when the music started getting released. First woman rapper to release a full studio album, which is a big deal because a lot of times the vinyl that we were receiving was a single. We were so excited to get it though, like we were so excited to get it. But a lot of times it was a single. It would maybe have two singles, like side A, side B, that kind of thing. So she actually was the first to release a full studio album. She received achievement gold certification. Excuse me, she achieved gold certification. She's the first woman rapper nominated for a Grammy Award. And I like to put this part out there. Like other old school MCs, she stayed active. So I remember when I was still living in North Carolina, I used to travel up to Richmond a lot. And this was probably like 15 years ago. My oldest brother, rest in peace, and I went to party in Richmond, and she was the DJ. We were so excited. Like I love MC Light, right? So she was a really, really good. She's a really good DJ.
Yeah.
She's really good at hyping up
Yep.
everything up. Um, so, and I've been to like Bismarcky, D Nice, DJ, but I would say MC Light is a different kind of hype. MC Light does speaking engagements. She's the voice for award shows. You can always know her voice. You know it's her voice. Even if you don't see her, you can tell that's MC Light on the microphone. MC Light's on the microphone. You can literally tell, right? And she actually released her new album in 2024, One of One. So she still does local and national performances.
She got a bop on her album. She has a bop.
Yeah.
I didn't like the chorus, but the lyrics, the one that she has, it sampled. I can't think of the old school song. It's an old school song. It used to be a break. All right. Well, anyway, one of the songs on the album is really a bop.
Yeah.
But hey, she's a D9, so salute that. She's a Sigma Gamma Rho sister.
Yes, Sigma Gamma Rho. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
So I like the new album, and I do like the fact that she tries new things. Like, okay, when I was finishing my exercise this evening, I had forgotten all about her being produced by Puff Daddy. The daggone song that she did with him, and he started off the intro. I had forgotten all about that by choice. I mean, it's not a horrible song. Like, I like her flow. Actually I like the I rock the party, we rock the party. Like that track, yeah. I mean, it's a good track, but I would just say, and I remember the video too, like it was yesterday. This stuff works. I mean, it's similar to Queen Latifah in that they just try different things to see what fans want to hear and reach new fans. So I respect it. I get it, sister. All right. And next we have.
Hey, any thoughts, Danny, on MC Light before we move?
Nah, she's dope. She's dope. Also, I feel she's underrated, and she's still like when she's on stage, she still has the same energy that she did 30 years ago.
She really does.
Yeah. Still drop dead gorgeous. She's everything. She's everything. I love the work that she does philanthropically. She's really still community focused. Her last project, 2 years ago, was really focused on young black men. I didn't like the songs, but I liked the direction she was going. So yeah, salute MC Light.
And she discovered a little girl, so now the little girl she has rapping and performing,
Was
and
it Day
she's
Day?
so
What's the
cute.
little kid's name?
Not Day Day. Um,
I don't know. It's some little kid. The little kid is nice though.
she's good though.
The little girl is nice.
She's doing it, and then you'll see sometimes her performing with Ti's youngest daughter. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
so yeah. All right, now Salt and Pepper, of course, and this is the most known Spinderella. Are given credit for introducing sex appeal. So I'm putting that behind MC Light because MC Light on the microphone received a lot of attention. Stop, look, listen. Again, I love MC Light. I love the videos, like everything about MC Light. I just love the videos. However, she was considered, and I always hate the phrase tomboy because I always tell people it's not like tomboy, it's a woman being herself, right? She changed her appearance over time, as did Queen Latifah, but it was Salt and Pepper who came in introducing quote unquote sex appeal into hip hop, and not as a dancer, but as the rappers. So became one of the most selling rap artists of all time, Salt and Pepper. They're often called the first ladies of rap, which I'm sure the the wonderful group with Angie B would hate that, of course, right? They are the first rap group, the first woman rap group to win gold and platinum status, Billboard Top 100 for their 1987 album. The fourth album in 1993 sold 7 million records, most in the US, and was the highest selling women rap album. They won a 1995 Grammy, which was also the same year that Queen Latifah won a Grammy. They won the 2021 Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and they're selected for the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that is a big deal. Any thoughts on Salt and Pepper? Salt and Pepper's here. And we're in
I know,
effect.
like they were the first to go like mainstream, like crossover, not mainstream, but to
Mhm.
crossover. And you can a lot of their songs are like the top 100 of all time. Like, so yeah, but they're like the first to cross over. I guess that's why people, like you were saying earlier, white folks are like, oh, they're the first ones they recognize, so they're
Mhm.
the first ladies. So like, yeah.
Yeah, they have an image, and the beauty is wonderful. The style they dress, like in middle school, we were dressing like Salt and Pepper. Like we were cutting our hair in stacks. Between MC Light, Salt and Pepper, we were cutting our hair in stacks, dyeing your own hair, looking a daggone mess. But wearing the leather boots. Being from Richmond, we had Cloverleaf Mall on Midlothian. We called it the Black Folks Mall. That was the Black Mall, which no longer exists, which is fitting for it to be the Black Mall on Midlothian Turnpike. But we would go to the stores and they would sell stuff like salt and pepper based stuff, basically selling like those exact boots. We were literally dressing like that, and I tell people I still dress like that. I mean, because I wear vintage stuff. I'm a thrift store person, so I still dress like that.
But you know what?
Yeah,
That like if I was to like show my students, they'd be like, yo, that's dope. They'll be like, yo, that's
yeah.
really dope. Like, they'd be like, yo, that's dope. Like in 2025. Like they
Hmm.
would be like, I would rock that.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that when we have like Halloween and we have Spirit Week, that a lot of my students dress up like that. Like I think it's really dope, like them and TLC. And I'd be like, yo, that's
Yeah,
really dope that they do. Yeah, they dress like Salt and Pepper and TLC. And
yeah,
they'll like it'll be like so many little groups, and you'll be like, oh, that's so dope. Like, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Tell them to regularly, if the school
Yes.
allows them. A lot of them that's their style,
Yeah.
and similar styles existed in 1950s, 1960s, and so Salt and Pepper just an example of that. And I also think of Oaktown's 357,
Yes. Yes.
and I'm a big fan of Oaktown's 357. Juicy, got them crazy. But they were jamming. I'm telling you, I'm a fan of MC Hammer. I tell you, don't be messing with MC Hammer. But dancing, rapping, and it's a similar style. It's just not as flashy as Salt and Pepper. So yeah.
All I can say when I think Salt and Pepper, I love Shoop. All
Yeah.
right, but my favorite Salt and Pepper joint Is my mic sounds nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Check
Oh yeah,
one.
yeah,
My mic
God,
sounds nice. Check two.
yeah. That was that joint. That was that joint. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Yeah,
to
right
rock,
Mhm.
there.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like all of their songs. I mean, they did a lot of good tracks, and
Yeah.
you think about the videos that they did when they had Go Go Beat and all that everything. So and the tracks they did with Kid and Play also, and so yeah, very
It
entertaining,
was a good time in hip hop. It was a good time in hip
very
hop.
good time.
Yep.
JJ Fad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the original membership: Juana, Juanita, Fatima, Anna, and Dania. So they changed it to Just Jammin', Fresh and Deaf. They're most known for Supersonic single and the album titled Supersonic. Thankfully, they are performing again. So I always love
Yes.
seeing them.
Yes, they are. They are performing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And they still got that flow.
Yep.
So I appreciate it.
And the beatbox. And still got the beatbox.
Yeah, she
Which
still
is
does beatboxing.
crazy. Crazy, yo. Still got
Oh,
that.
yeah. Someone commented Finesse and Quest. Yep. Yep. I'm a
And
fan
Finesse
of
you know
and
what's
Fitness.
C-
you know what's wild? What's wild is that, unfortunately they're not selling arenas. You know what
Uh
I'm saying?
huh.
So
Yeah.
you can they're like their shows be very affordable and they put on shows and they travel a lot. So it's like please go out there. Even if you've never heard of them, please go out there and see them perform.
Yeah, even groups like Finesse and Quest, like if they're
Yes.
still performing. So, what wonderful artists have been doing, women artists have been bringing old school women MCs on stage. And so that helps people in the audience get reminded like this person is still out there performing.
Mhm.
They'll come to local and national performances. Like it's just like when we talk about men, and that's actually one of the things we'll talk about later. Because like when I went to Kwame's performance a month ago, Chub Walk, Kwame, all these people, they're still performing. So women MCs are the same kind of thing.
I just want to
So
say salute to Antoinette. I got an attitude.
Oh yeah, yeah. Who battled MC Light? That
Who
was those are so
battled
that was a
MC
dope
Light?
battle. Man,
so we didn't really talk about JJ Fad enough. So the supersonic part, just want to highlight the 1992 album was certified double platinum,
Mhm.
and they were the first women rap group to be nominated for a Grammy Award. So that's the 1989 award. So shout out to JJ Fad. All right.
Summer lama 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 juma lama lama lama.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. That's it. So, Sister Queen Latifah, all right, at age 19, she released All Hail the Queen with Ladies First,
Yeah, that's that.
lyrical freestyle. All right, 1993, the album Black Rain had UNITY.
That's that joint, yo. That's
That's
that
a
joint.
unity.
That's that joint, yo.
I will say Ladies First is one of my favorite tracks. I also love the video. I love when she brought in Moni Love. I really thought they were real sisters at that point. I also love the background dancers.
It's the Furry
And
Sisters. Yeah.
yeah, and I have that photo of the background dancers themselves.
Mhm.
I just Ladies First, it just created the scene. And Queen Latifah, just her lyricism in Ladies First was like, okay. And it was stern. It was like, yes, I got this. At one point, Miss Melody reminded me of Ladies First.
Mm.
The
Rest in
style a little
perfection.
bit.
Rest in perfection.
Rest
Miss
in
Melody.
peace,
Yeah.
Miss
Yeah.
Melody. So yeah.
Well, I tell you, back on Hampton's campus during my time period there, 86 to 90, the Deltas used to step off of that.
Oh wow.
Stroll. They used to stroll off of
Oh,
Ladies First. That
oh
Hmm.
wow.
was, they
Oh
used to
wow.
step in the door with that joint, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a good song. But like I said earlier, Wrath of My Madness is one of my favorites. UNITY, I always thought it was kind of interesting. She was like, who you calling a B? But she was calling the dudes N-words. And I was like, okay. All right. I guess there's always some back and forth. That's cool. I thought that was interesting. There was another song that she did. Oh, yo. I Wanna Be Down remix.
Oh yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
All right,
About
okay.
this short, about this tall,
Yeah.
about this big, about this small, about this length, about this width, about this flow,
Okay.
about this gift.
All right. Okay.
Instinct keep me, yeah, right up your alleyway. Kick the more wetness, chill with some Alizé. Enough stress in a day. Let me beside
Oh
your
my
mind as my
God.
mental start to play. Get a tool. Okay, I'll stop. That is literally my favorite. Like even now, when you show that performance, they did, of course, the live performance, and when she came out on stage, people wilding out, like nailing them, like, "Oh my goodness, this Queen!" But that remix just,
Yeah. And
whew,
now they all D9 too. But man, that's
yeah.
Queen La has been putting it down. There's another song that I really love by her. I can't think of what it is right now. So Bad DJ. It'll come
No,
back to
no,
me.
you're good. I mean, because she really has a lot of tracks, including the tracks that were on the Flavor Unit. Because I'm a big fan of Lakim Shabazz, and unfortunately, he retired from hip hop. But when you go to the Flavor Unit albums, when it's Flavor Unit specifically, you'll find Queen Latifah's tracks and Lakim Shabazz, all these other tracks that are not on their main albums. So it's a lot of, I mean, when you're all over the place, like she literally was all over the place doing all these collaborations before she got into acting. So she's literally got a whole lot of stuff that she's been doing since she's 19 years old. I do want to highlight something since you mentioned the UNITY lyrics. If you listen to the lyrics, dear Sir DJ, she specifically said that she understands if they're just joking around and
Hmm.
he calls black women bitch. He said, I understand if we're joking around, but are you serious and being aggressive? That's what she's talking about. She said that and she actually said that in the first verse. It's like, I get it. We're friends,
Hmm.
I
but
think I think
calling
it's
me
just
out my
another.
name.
But
I
don't
think
be
it's
calling
another
me out my
gaslighting.
name.
I think that's just gaslighting. That's all it is. When men use that argument, they gaslighting. That's what they do.
I just thought it was interesting. I just thought it was interesting because I really, you know, that was during my I guess my first conscious hip hop era. So I kind of regarded light, I mean not light, but La as part of that conscious thought movement. So it just that kind of threw me a little bit. I knew she brought out Apache with Gangsta B, so
Yes.
that made me wonder too.
I
You
want
know,
black people. So
but I'm
remember,
not.
I want our people to remember consciousness is not as narrow as contemporary blacks want it to be. If you understand this, we're talking about 200 plus years of pro blackness, black nationalism, pan Africanism, all that stuff, right? This includes all types of stuff. So it's not as narrow as that. So I just want to highlight that. Okay. So I did mention earlier with Salt and Pepper winning the Grammy Award in 1995. So that's also when Queen Latifah won the 1995 Album Award. That is the UNITY. And over the decades, Queen Latifah has won many awards, including many, 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 many acting awards. So Queen Latifah just amazing.
Doesn't she have what they call it when you win a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony,
EGOT.
an
Yes.
Emmy, an EGOT? Don't she? Is she one of the few people that has an EGOT?
See, y'all remember what that's called. I
Yeah.
commend you both.
I think I'm saying it wrong. I think EGOT. Like, yeah, I think I'm
It's
saying
an
it wrong.
EGOT. It's an EGOT. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
called
EGOT.
EGOT.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's one of the few. There's not that many people, black,
Yeah.
white, women, or men that have that. She's one of the very few. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. Mhm.
So here's one of my favorite MCs, period. No debate. I don't embark in debates regarding Nikki D. Okay. And you can find Nikki D all over social media where she talks about her son's album and her album that she is working on. I don't know if it's newly released quite yet, but Nikki D is best known for my favorite single and one of my favorite tracks in hip hop in general is Letting Off Steam. Shooting the gift, letting off, shooting the gift, letting off steam. Oh, thank you. Said, oh, that's Dr. Kimia. Thank you for your post on that. Oh, that's just you. That's just you. Oh, that's just her. Thank you for you so funny. But I'm glad that that person also knows about finesse and success. You know, hip hop geniuses, we really do unite. So that includes Nikki D. So I use Nikki D's music a lot.
Mm.
Now here's the interesting part. So of course Nikki D was signed with Def Jam Records. If you remember the Let It Off Steam video,
Mhm.
it was a bunch of Def Jam artists in the video. Of course you can hear Flavor Flav, but you see images of Public Enemy, and then Big Les is one of the dancers. You know, they had the dancers in martial arts like ninja outfits. So Big Les was one of the dancers. A lot of people don't know about Let It Off Steam. And again, that song used to be on BET Rap City a lot. That
Rotation.
was,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Heavy
yeah, that was
rotation.
like rotation.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Shooting the gift, letting off. All right, so I'm a big Nikki D fan. Most people know her for Daddy's Little Girl. Daddy's Little Girl, but not the girl that Daddy knew. Daddy never had a clue of what the little girl can do. And of course, in the background, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
That's a
dun,
yeah.
what Daddy don't know won't hurt her.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So most people know her for Daddy's Little Girl. And it's not really clear why she was released from Def Jam Records. I don't know if it was record sales or anything else happening, but she's very vocal about a lot of things on social media, and she still does music. So you can find out more about her music releases and her son's music releases on her social media. Any thoughts on Nikki D? One of my top MCs.
And yeah, I need to find out why. I'm pretty sure there's more information about why she got taken off.
Hmm.
It would be interesting to know. So
Yeah, the first woman
Mhm.
rapper signed with Def Jam Records. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to admit, I never was a fan of Nikki D.
oh wow, she only had she only had two joints though. Like she never released nothing else.
Well, the full album. So it
Not on
and
Def Jam.
Yeah,
right.
not
So
Def Jam.
she has
Yeah.
stuff that you can find elsewhere.
Mhm.
I so we know how it happens though. Sometimes a whole entire album is recorded, which we don't know if that's the case here, but this is my hypothesis that a whole entire album might have been recorded and it wasn't released. Who knows? Who knows, right?
Mhm.
So,
But
but yeah.
to me, she wasn't light. Uh,
Oh,
you
that.
know, I think at that time, 91, it was just
Well, 89 for letting off steam.
yeah. But during that time period, 88 to 93, it was just a glut of really great stuff. And hers, to me, it just didn't match what else was out there.
Mhm.
You
Ooh,
know,
Nikki D, come get him. Come get
yeah.
him.
Now, I'm just talking about for me. It just, you know,
Come get him, Nikki
it
D.
wasn't too hype. I loved Too Hype. Uh, a lot of people don't know Too Hype. One girl was from Brooklyn. I can't think where the other girl was from. I think she was from Queens. There's the one. They're the group that did doing it and doing it and doing
Doing
it
it
well.
Well,
well.
yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah.
that LL redid with one of the girls. Um,
Yeah. And I always forget that that's a remake that he did. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, it didn't for me. It just didn't. Okay, 89, 90. In that when Dre and some of Snoop stuff really started popping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a hard time to release music, I think. But
But I wouldn't say that for other Def Jam artists, the men. I don't think they had a difficult time releasing tracks and entire albums at that time.
89, I don't know. Let me see. Public Enemy had already done Rebel Without a Pause.
Right.
So that was still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else was on Def Jam around that
Was
time?
it third? Was third base
L,
on
L,
Def
L,
Jam?
L was on.
Third
LL was on
base,
there too.
No.
Yeah, L was
LL,
on.
third
Yeah,
base. Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
look at what she was coming against.
yeah, yep. And
That was
they were probably putting more of the and I'm not trying to excuses. They were probably more resources into them than
They
into her.
literally were, because I
Yeah.
mean, even putting them in the Let It Off Steam video, you can gauge that they put them the other artists in the video so that it's like familiar to the audience, right?
Mhm.
But I just think that it didn't play well in marketing her enough, probably.
fair enough.
You're a Nikki D hater, yo.
She's not light. I'm sorry. It's light. Okay.
But thank you for mentioning Two Hype because I'm gonna learn more about them also because I haven't read enough about them. So yeah. So here are just some reminders. So there are decades of potentially thousands of locally recognized and nationally recognized Black women MCs. It's not just like 20. It's not even just 100 or 200. It's a lot. Like different cities and different states have women MCs who are doing performances there, doing recordings. And this is where highlighting underground artists, because all three of us are big supporters of underground artists. I mean, even when you talk about Boot Camp Click, Black Moon, Smith and Wesson, Buckshot, Helter Skelter, and Original Gun Clappers, they're considered underground artists. Although they were very successful in the marketing, they're still considered very underground for a lot of people who don't really know that type of hip hop. So there are some women MCs who are underground in this. And then there also are women MCs who are mainstream record deals. So that's MCs like MC Light. Uh, However, when it's looking like, and thank you for sharing the book, Dan. So the book is called Wisdom of the Cipher by Tony Buckman. So there also are some mainstream record deals where there's like one album released, but it's not sold well. And that happens for women MCs. A lot of times, and we'll talk about that in a second, but just remember, a lot of times women MCs don't get the same chance, right? If one single doesn't sell well, right? Like back when we still did videos, right? If it wasn't like the number one video, then people are like, oh, don't nobody care about her. But for men MCs, we give them a chance a lot of times, right? Like LL has done this work since he was a teenager, and I'm a big LL fan. My favorite is still Nitro, and he did the best verse in Rampage, right? He takes over, but he's done so much music that when you listen to his whole entire album, it has some tracks that you're kind of like when he started doing movies and there was one theme song for the movies, like he's like in the water with a shark. That's the theme of one of his songs. Come on, y'all. Y'all gave this black man a chance. he was he was rapping about being in the water with a shark, whatever. So I think that in hip hop we give the men chance after chance after chance because people assume that, oh, it was just a bad day, or he got rid of his DJ, or like even Goat Rakim. Rakim's my all-time goat. I wear Rakim shirts, right? And when he and Eric B split, his style is the same, but his production is different. So, like the album since Eric B, including the new album, the way he performs, who he gets to be guests on his pieces is different. But people are still coming to his performances with the promise that he's gonna do his old stuff at the intro, and then he's gonna perform his new stuff at the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight one of the code keepers. It says Teat. All right. Well, oh, okay. I was just listening to Rebel Soul by Isis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Woo! Nice. And
Yep.
Queen Mother
Man,
Rage came out of X
she was
Clan
a
as Black
spitter.
Wife.
She was a
And,
spitter, Joe.
She
and
was.
thank you for saying that because I was actually going to include her on this. But here's the difficult thing about Isis, yeah, of course, her new name. She no longer goes by Isis.
Mhm.
It's actually difficult to find information about her music. Like you can find her on social media,
Mhm.
and she has an updated YouTube channel, but her style, like a lot of things have changed regarding her. There's an old photo of her with MC Light, but I don't know if she's intentionally kept to herself, but that's something that'd be interesting to learn
She did a lot of
about that.
after she left X Clan, she did a lot of underground joints that only released on vinyl.
Mm.
Maybe 3 to 4 thousand pressings. She did a lot of joints. So if you really dig, you got to find somebody that probably has some of her stuff. She did a lot of underground joints that like I said, they made it on vinyl, maybe 3,000 copies, and that's it. So yeah,
Yeah, I've been finding it to see if there's anything that you can purchase is what I've been searching
yeah.
for. And so, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so we can go to the next slide because it's just two
Oh,
more.
okay.
It's
Yeah,
just two more
okay.
slides.
Yeah.
Right. But he did say that she went by Lin Q.
Link Q, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yep.
Link Q,
That's
yeah.
her
So
name
she, yeah.
now. Yeah, it's
So
got like three different
she
names
got a
in there.
bunch of joints. Matter of fact, I'm gonna visit my brother this weekend. I'm gonna see if he has a couple of joints. So like, yeah,
Yeah, that's wonderful.
yeah.
And there's two more slides. So this is just some just reminders of things we've talked about. So this is where we talk about interlocking gender, race, identities, and experiences. So for Black men, gender does interlock with race as well because men have a gender identity. So the same is the case when looking at Black women. So what it means to be an MC as a woman, and like when I shared this on social media yesterday, I included some women groups that some did gangster rap, some did all types of things, right? And so people were shocked when women groups and women solo artists do stuff that are considered challenging in their lyrics because people just are not accustomed to that from women in the first place. But that's an example of interlocking gender and race identities and experiences. So, and just reminders, a lot of times women are not considered good rappers, similar to not being considered good comedians, good religious leaders. There's actually literally been men comedians who've said that women are not funny enough to be comedians. So similar happens when you're talking about women rappers. Women, so Black men control various stages in hip hop and rap. So a lot of times Black men claim to not control the industry. They'll say things like Black people do not control hip hop. The record industry, blah blah blah, is controlled by blah 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 blah. But Black men actually do control various aspects of hip hop and various aspects of record companies, various aspects of networking. You can see that in their interactions, let alone you can see that in how they plan concerts and all types of things. Most rap groups, hip hop collaborations, including the upcoming collaboration, of course, with Rakim, Karis One, and them, it's mostly men doing this. So men control various stages of hip hop. Also, want to highlight sexual expression. So, looking at Salt and Pepper, considered very sexy back then, they oftentimes had more clothes on. But then you introduce Lil Kim. And again, I'm a big fan of Lil Kim. And then Lil Kim and Foxy Brown were competing. And then Trina, you don't know Nan, you know, you don't know Nan. So, sexual expression. Who has the legal right and the record deal right to have sexual expression? Like Black men in hip hop can do entire songs where their chest is hanging out. They've got women popping their twat in the video. But when women are the rappers doing anything, people question that. So I always also highlight here the need to purchase albums. So I don't believe in accessing music in a way that does not compensate the artists. Who did I just miss on
That's my
dance?
my middle son,
Oh,
Zuby.
hey, middle son.
Yeah.
I just
Hello.
missed her.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's
Hey.
crazy? He has a copy of Queen Latifah's first album on vinyl. So like,
Oh,
Yes,
yeah. So
that's
like,
very wise. That's very wise. And that's why we have to buy the music.
mhm.
Buy the music. Buy it. I'm just going to keep shouting. Buy the music. Okay. Also, invite women MCs to perform for local and national events. And that's important because I highlighted how MC Light still performs. You literally will see her performing at anything, similar to you see Chubb Rock and all the other artists. And they're performing their old songs. If they don't have a new album out, they perform. And people don't criticize men MCs if they haven't released an album in a few years or if they look different than they used to look on their videos. They tend to do that for women MCs. When women MCs have taken a break, whatever's happened, they come and they don't look like they looked in their last video. people are like, "Oh my goodness, what's happening to you?" It's like, "Yeah, I don't be asking that of men MCs." So just a different way to understand hip hop and understand women's role in it. And the last one, the last slide, are just some readings and a video. Seiko, can you go to the last slide?
All right, that doesn't apply to MC Light.
What, the part about the
You don't
performance?
look the way you used to look.
Oh no, she's definitely done very well with her appearance and everything.
Salute the light.
Her style.
Salute the light.
Yeah, she's done very well with that. All right, so here's the website Women in Hip Hop article, the first women rap group, the Sequence article, and there's an ABC News article about the first female MC of hip hop. And so this is just stuff about the Sequence. And there's actually a documentary, The First Female Rappers No One Talks About, A History of Women in Hip Hop. And it's actually a really good documentary. I actually like that documentary. So people can access that documentary and actually subscribe to the YouTube channel of the people who created that documentary. And last but not least, here are two articles just about hip hop here, the Hotep and hip hop article. I use these for my classes here. And this one's about, can Black Muslim women be doomed with hip hop? And then the others, from civil rights to hip hop, toward a nexus of ideas. So there's actually a lot of writings about hip hop and publications about hip hop and the women's role in hip hop that people can read more.
Well, one of the things that I know that we're going to highlight in the few minutes we have left are the problems. There's been some hypocrisy. We kind of pointed out a lot of them in our earlier discussion tonight. But I think there's more to it as well. So when I look at artists like Doechii, all right, Doechii just came out recently and she talked about mental health. And she has a song, My Anxiety. It's a big TikTok thing now. People are doing it all over social media. I want to say that it's interesting to me that the femcs now, the lady MCs, the lady rappers, whatever term you want to use, women rappers, they're actually hitting on some things that in some way areas, well, okay, they're hitting on things in public on a big stage that we, the men's haven't dealt with. We've talked about anxiety every so often, but she has a hit record that's all over the world talking about dealing with mental health and how she has a therapist and things of that nature. I want to salute her for that.
Well,
Doc,
I mean, I like that song, but I don't want to claim that that's new. Actually, we over the decades we do have hip hop men in hip hop who have rapped about issues. Like even if you look at Bushwick Bill's verse,
mm-hmm.
that was about a hallucination, right?
And they talked about depression. That song was about depression too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times men just say it in a different way, but there actually have been some. There was a hip hop artist, I forget his name. He was a local artist, and he died a few years ago. I don't know if it was by suicide or, but he had rapped about mental illness. And we have another hip hop artist who I actually share his music, and I follow his YouTube channel. He actually has entire tracks, an entire video about Black men and mental health. So yeah, so it's actually something that's not. It's just that a lot of it's done in a play on words kind of way, unless they want to be very obvious. I commend her for the song, but I really want our people to understand the lyricism, because we do actually have, actually as part of Black music in general, is we do have some artists who always talked about mental health and even drug addiction. Like we talk about 3 6 Mafia, the brother who died in 3 6 Mafia, he used to always rap about sipping on some scissor, sipping on some sipping on some scissor. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you talk about how they died, they've been rapping for so long about sipping on scissor, all that stuff. So yeah.
And he kind of shed a light on how a lot of people were addicted to the codeine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of shed a light on that. Yeah.
I still think that the way that Dochi's done it is admirable. And so I just wanted to shout her out for that. I
And
wanted to shout out Doja Cat. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Megan Thee Stallion actually has an entire website about mental illness. So I encourage people to learn about Megan Thee Stallion's website.
That's one of the great things about hip hop. Now I'm seeing that a lot of our MCs are doing some really health and wellness oriented things. We could talk about Jadakiss, but what you just talked about by Megan Thee Stallion, I think is admirable. Doja's been doing some interesting things in the mental health space as well. I wanted to salute Doja Cat, one of my favorite current MCs. She's nice.
Oh wow.
She's nice.
You said Doja or Doja Cat?
Doja Cat. She's nice, man. She's nice. Doji's a lyricist too.
Yeah, Doji's a lyricist.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, the way you did not respond to Nikki D, I'm now skeptical of your assessment. So I'm skeptical of your assessment.
Yo, you don't know Sekou by now. Sekou got mad hot takes, yo. You don't know Sekou by now. Everybody knows that about Sekou. Everybody.
We're using the 3H phrase for you. You're hip hop hypocritical. Hip hop hypocritical. That's the phrase we're using for you now.
Hey, somebody got to be. I want to salute City Girls. They were one of my favorite groups a few years ago. Bahamadia.
Yep. So on my social media pages, actually, I have an image of Bahamadia. Yep. And talk about how she left the industry. Mm-hmm.
All right. T popped back in. He said Doja Cat, but not Nicki. That's interesting.
Not Nicki Minaj or not Nicki D.
He's probably saying not Nicki. He's team Dr. Kimaya. So.
I was gonna say, don't talk about Nicki Minaj. I never was a fan of Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
That was
fake. I do like Saweetie. No response. Okay.
I mean, I can appreciate new artists, but I'm old hip hop.
Well, I'm not their demo. I'm not their demo.
And I didn't think I would be.
I'm not their demo.
She has some stuff she has this song Rich Tivities. And it's the flow. Look, she's not a lyricist, but she knows how to ride a track.
I don't take them for granted. Like I appreciate some of the tracks. Like I'll be listening, I'm like, okay, I can feel that. Like Glorilla, I'll be like, okay. But, however, that's just not Team Kimaya. Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
I hate to cut loose, but I gotta go.
Hey, salute.
The chamomile tea is hitting, so yeah.
Peace, chamomile tea.
So peace. Thank y'all again. I appreciate it.
Hey, if you leave, man, where can they find you? We need to shout out your podcast so people can know who you are, who you be.
You can find me on all streaming platforms under Where My Killer Tape at. If you Google Dan Trezzomi, you'll find me everywhere. So yeah.
That's what's up. Hey, love you, bro.
I love you too.
With you
Bye.
again, man.
Peace.
All right. So yeah, I'm a Saweetie fan. I also I do love Maya P. She's teenagey. She has some interesting stuff out there. So I want to salute Maya P. 2 up and 2 down for Missy.
Yes, VA.
Missy's done some great stuff and she's opened some doors.
Yes, very much so. Yep.
Yeah. So this is me giving props to some of the younger MCs. The younger.
You talking about Missy Elliott though, right? Ain't that Missy Elliott?
Yeah, but she's still current.
I was about to say, because she's won awards and stuff like that. Like she's produced people since the 90s, so she's not young like that. Like, like all these people on the screen right now. Okay, we do have to have every generation so that the genre can continue for the remainder of our existence. But I ain't feeling all that.
All right. So I do want to salute Jean Grey. Jean Grey is a lyricist. Jean Grey is dope. She's been out
I've
of
I've
the
heard her.
lyric. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She
yeah.
Jean Grey is dope. All right. Um, Shensia. So for the Carib people out there, for the Jam Rock heads, Shensia is doing it. Salute Shensia. I do like Glorilla.
I like Glorilla,
I
and I
do
like
like
her hype.
Glorilla.
I like her hype up self too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lotto. Big Lotto. Big Mama. Yo, she actually, I think she's nice lyrically. You're not familiar with
I'm not familiar, but again, I want these sisters to flourish because that's how we continue. But I want to make sure that they have mentorship in the sisters who've been doing this work before them, because that's how you learn the foundation and learn the foundation as you get older too. Because you can't always be your lyrics are gonna change, your style of dress is gonna change everything as you get through hip hop. So yeah.
it. Right. Sexy Red, she's doing some interesting marketing. So I think that the marketing that Sexy Red is doing is commendable. Not a fan of her performances, but she has a
I'm
couple of hit songs.
I'm not a fan of this cookie cutter appearance that they're giving a lot of these sisters. And I'm talking about they have this cookie cutter appearance of the way that their wigs are done and everything. It's one thing if that's a style that a particular person wants, but it's this it's this appearance. Like even when we had the battle between Lil Kim and Foxy Brown, you could distinguish their styles.
Mm,
They weren't this cut across it, right? And you could tell that Foxy Brown was the one who was modeling after the Pam Grier image, whereas Lil Kim was not modeling after that.
hmm.
Is that Cardi
Okay.
B?
Cardi.
She's horrible, but okay. I mean, no, she's horrible, but yes, Ladybug Mecca. You know, I recognize this sister. Standing
Hey,
ovation, and you know
yes.
they're performing again, so I'm excited.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Foxy Brown.
Had to bring it back. Had to
Now
bring
I'm
it
in
back.
Jamaica making all your paper. EVE stay committed.
All right. She's
She's got a
doing big
completely
thing.
different life. She's got a completely different life now.
All right. Salute the brat.
The brat that tat tat for that ass.
Hey, code keepers and classmates, this has been Professor Kimia's class. Today it's the real hip hop, women MCs since the 1970s. Of course, we didn't go over everybody. How are we gonna do that?
Yeah,
That's
like I said, there's thousands of women,
can't be
local
done.
and national.
It can't be done. But we did
Yes.
want to salute them, the
Yes.
young, the old, the current, the poppin', the
The
classic.
good, the bad. We ain't gonna pretend everybody got. I mean, that's the thing about hip hop. Hip hop and rap includes men artists who are not good, but they make good songs. And you can dance to it, but they're not a lyricist, and that's okay. So the same thing will be with women MCs as well, or not
What
even.
more
They're
can
not
I
even
say?
MCs.
What more can I say? Top billing.
That you can't use him as an example though.
I can't.
Don't
Okay.
make him fight you. Milk is chilling. Don't be messing with Milk.
All right. All right. Then I'll say Nipsey Russell does the hustle. Your cock diesel flex your muscle. Sometimes I
Okay,
might. So,
I
okay.
can't
All right.
repeat that. I can't repeat that.
Yo, it's a party hopper. It's a party banger.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
same thing with we can go back to Busy Bee.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, all right. But today
Yeah.
we were saluting the sisters who've been doing their thing since the 1970s. It's important that we realize that they've been doing their things since the 1970s, right?
Yes.
Since the
Before they started like the
1970s.
year I was born, and this was when you were like 20 years old. I'm joking. You weren't. You weren't 20 years old. I was joking. Yes. Rhapsody. Sabbath. Yeah. Thank you for giving the shout outs. Mhm.
Yo, your folk came through tonight and they dropping gems the whole night. So T, hey man, we appreciate T. I was gonna say, man, we appreciate you, but T, yeah, not T. We appreciate T. Not sure, so don't want to. What I don't
Hip
want to get
hop head,
accused.
hip hop head. Just call it
Hip
hip
hop
hop
head,
head.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it like that. Love you, T. Emmanuel didn't come through tonight, man. Good. I
I
hope everything's going
know.
well for you, Emmanuel. Yo,
Yes.
this has been another great episode class of Professor Kimia's class. Tonight we did a little divergence of a little bit. We talked about something we really love, which is hip hop. And if you really listen, we talked about the problems and she gave the solutions. So
Stop acting up. That's the solution. Stop acting up. No, I'm joking. I
we're
mean, the
all in our
solution, yeah. So the slide, they can have access to the PowerPoint slide, but the last slide before the reference page, it would just talk about what it means to still be a fan, be a customer, purchase, and to not try to discredit women MCs. Well, you can discredit someone if they're not a good MC, period. But don't make it because there's some horrible. There's some people who are rappers because they're entertainers, but they're not MCs based on lyricism.
whim
So it's a different.
whammy.
You are a troublemaker. You are a troublemaker.
Yo, it's a hot song, but whim whammy.
You are a troublemaker. You got people writing in.
Co-keepers, classmates, peace.
Peace.
That was a good one. You know what? I really
It's still on
enjoyed.
live. It's still